too fast. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer Kicks, and I am the business teacher at North High School, and I am also the lead teacher of the lovely team Frostbyte here, which we have expanded, but it has been my ultimate pleasure in leading these exceptional students this year. Not only have they supported each other with the project, but they have also supported each other with their academic endeavors. Their work commitment has impressed me, the way they just are there for one another. They have blown me out of the water this year on everything that they've done, and it has been my ultimate pleasure in leading with them. Now, before we continue, I would like to have Brooke come up here, please. So, Brooke has been a big supporter of Frostbyte, and she just graduated with her doctorate, and we wanted to Tuesday, but we wanted to thank her, and we do have a card and flowers for you, and we wanted to thank you for your support, and congratulations on your doctorate. She didn't know that was happening, because she did walk chess practice, but did not see that part.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you. And Camden is part of my team, so Camden, please come up too. Camden and I are both huge. Yeah, we're a package team. But I don't want to take too much time, but Camden and I also are joined online by one of our business friends through Brave Harvest, and we are just in complete awe of what you guys are all doing. Anything we can do to support Woodlanders and landlords. We just think this is such an important initiative, and I'm so proud of each of you just listening to your practice. I don't know if Camden wants to add anything, but we're so excited to see it in its presentation form. You did not have to do this. Thank you so much. All right, thank you.
All right, so to introduce myself, my name is Sean Pacific Bukiza, spelled C-H-A-M-P. I'm currently a senior at North High School in Central Academy. I was born in Tanzania, came to America at 1 year old as a refugee, and have lived in Iowa ever since. Some of my interest lies in programming, but my other interest also lies in videography and photography.
Hey everybody, my name is Jeffrey Allen, and I'm a senior at North High School, Central Academy, and Central Campus. I am African American and Italian, and some of my interests are cybersecurity, software and game development, programming, and pen testing, where we go around to different companies and test their infrastructure for security flaws.
Hello, my name is Magali Patino Mejia. I'm a senior at North High School, and I'm Hispanic, and some of my interests are nursing and 3D modeling.
Hello, my name is Melvin Suye-Frigo. I'm French and I'm interested in software development and game development.
Hi, my name is Mas Levan. I'm a senior at Virtual Campus. I'm half Thai Dam and half Lao, and I'm interested in software engineering.
Hi, my name is Mayo Win. I'm a junior at North. I'm Korean and I'm interested in 3D modeling.
Hi, my name is Nagis Abubakar. I'm a senior at Roosevelt High School and Central, and my parents immigrated from Sudan to South Korea, which is where I was born. And then from there, we moved to Houston, Texas. And then from there, we moved to Iowa. And I'm interested in law, economics, and political science.
Hi, I'm Ramas Bakrel. I'm a junior at North Central Academy and Central Campus. I'm from Nepal, and I'm interested in programming and 3D modeling.
Hello, my name is Sujal Pokhrel, and my family is originally from Nepal. Some of my interests include 3D modeling, programming, and engineering.
Hello, my name is Tatiana Hunter, and I'm a senior at Roosevelt High School in Central Academy. I'm Native and African American, and my interests include astrophysics.
So recently, our team conducted a survey where we asked students and staff all across EMPS a few key questions. We started by determining whether or not the respondents were student or staff, with a lot of the respondents being high school students. Then we asked all respondents how interested they were in STEM subjects, with many of them having some level of interest. We asked students if they were considering a career within the STEM field, with many of them leaning towards maybe. And staff were asked if they feel confident teaching STEM with the resources that they currently have, with the overwhelming majority of staff saying no. Finally, all respondents were asked, how important do you think NASA's role is in advancing science and technology, with almost all respondents saying it's extremely important. The data shown by our stats indicate a disparity between interest and aspiration found within our district, where students want to engage more with STEM, but staff are unfortunately where staff feel a lack of confidence in teaching STEM.
So what is Artemis? Artemis is one of NASA's programs designed to get humans on Mars.
And across the Artemis missions, right now there's currently 8 and potentially more. Each mission has its own objective and goal that is ultimately leading to this end goal of having humans land on Mars.
We are currently on Artemis 2, where the tested rocket from Artemis 1 would be orbiting the moon. This is historical because this will be the first person of color and first woman around the moon.
And this brings us to our next question. What is the challenge? The NASA App Development Challenge, also known as the ADC, is a national challenge that has been held for almost 6 years, with this being our 2nd year in the challenge. As opposed to this year's challenge, the past couple of years, our teams were tasked with visualizing the south pole of the moon. Teams were given 13 landing regions picked by NASA, and we had to do research on whether the region had, or what region had the most, was the most advocate for research while also being the safest to travel on the moon. But this year's challenge, we are visualizing the Artemis 2 mission, as we are ever so getting close to the first test flight the first manned test flight in over 20 years. In this challenge, we're given a handbook, which includes general information such as meeting dates, a way to structure a team to succeed, the rubric, the extra credit, and most importantly, the resources. And alongside that, we were given a spreadsheet with thousands of data points that correlate to mission time, position in the XYZ, velocity in the XYZ, all of the antennas with their availability, 1 indicating that they are available and 0 indicating that they are not. And if they are available, we get the range from the spacecraft back to Earth. And throughout the 10 weeks of this challenge, we have to do a lot of research, development, outreach, make sure we reach out to subject matter experts and mentors across the nation to be able to complete this challenge, which all goes into a 5 to 7 minute video at the end of the challenge, showcasing everything we did throughout the challenge, including all the things that I just briefly said. But one of the most important reasons why we participate in this challenge is because of our creativity. This challenge allows us to be creative beyond a classroom setting.
You might be asking how Team Frostbyte started. Well, it initially started last year in my pre-calculus class as I was learning about limits. I had received an email from my upper bound counselor about this cool opportunity to work with NASA. I mean, come on, who doesn't get excited when they hear the word NASA? I went to Miss Nunez, who was a North High School North High School teacher, and someone who had started 3D modeling and culture club with. She supported the idea 100%, however, she told me that it would have to be my responsibility to recruit students in order to participate in this challenge. Last year, we did that, and this year, we expanded the team.
My first meeting in Team Frostbyte was unforgettable. The 9 current member at the time was crammed into Miss Kick's room, waiting for the NASA ADC to start. While listening to the NASA personnel talking, I was thinking, how could I contribute to the Frostbyte team? And what role could I possibly serve? And how did I even belong? So I thought again, why I even joined? Well, it was to challenge myself, utilizing parts of my brain, which I never get to use, and perhaps contribute to something greater.
So for my first meeting, I had no experience whatsoever. I only heard about Team Frostbyte from Ms. Hicks and Jeffrey. They told me that I should join since they need more people involved, and I felt interest in it in the past year, but I was too scared to join since I was a little nervous. But this year I decided to join, and they welcomed me right in, and I felt so comfortable.
I first heard about Team Frostbyte last year in my math class, but I didn't really think much of it. Until this year, one of the people in my cybersecurity class, Jeff, was telling me about it, and it seemed interesting. So he sent me an application, and I got it. Later that week, we all crammed into a car and went to North High School to learn more about it. And ever since then, I feel like I have been a part of a community where I belong while doing something that I love.
I originally found out from the app when Jeff, Champ, and Sujal were talking about their experience with it in my AP Computer Science class. And I was interested. I wanted to challenge myself. I believe one of the most powerful things that a Black woman can be is educated. So I joined the team, not only to improve my computer science and coding skills, but to grow intellectually. From physics to blueprinting, through this team, I'm exposed to a wide range of disciplines and principles. At the first Team Frostbyte meeting, I was surrounded by a bunch of computers and words I didn't understand, like velocity vector. But this team was so inviting and willing to answer all of my questions.
I was first introduced to Team Frostbyte by my best friend, Denise, after a science bound meeting on a Tuesday. She had told me that Team Frostbyte was about computer science, programming, and physics, as well as building a community with people that like the same things as I do. When I first stepped into the Team Frostbyte room, I was extremely nervous because I had no clue what to do. I had no idea what coding, what went into coding. I had no idea about anything about computer science other than a few vocabulary words here and there. With everyone's helpful and guiding words, I was able to complete the task that I was assigned, and I'm extremely grateful to be here today with this group of intelligent people.
What does the challenge consist of? First of all, we have programming, using blueprints and Unreal to create the app itself. Then we've got design/modeling. We create 3D models and textures of everyday objects in a software called Maya. Then we've got research, gathering information to make our app accurate. And then we've got math, using mathematical concepts to visualize the data. And we've got teamwork, collaborating to achieve our goals. But most importantly, we have outreach, sharing our work and spreading the word, such as what we're doing here today, and other places like Finley Elementary.
So we went to Finley Elementary as part of our outreach, and we brought along with us 3 activities. We started with NASA's online STEM engagement apps, a fun coding activity that we designed and are playing as shown on the TVs above, and the third being a demo of our previous year's application. The experience itself was super fulfilling as we got to provide more exposure to STEM and opportunities like the ADC itself to elementary students. And we not only showed them what we did, we also let them know that they can do the same and more.
Going to Finley was one of the many opportunities where we can make an impact on younger students. Motivating them that they're more than capable of doing what we can too. showing them what opportunities they're more than open to in the future when the time comes. This is what pushes Team Frostbyte, and what motivates us to keep going is knowing that they look up to us and that we can make a change and help them do what we can do.
And this leads into our why. Why participate in this challenge once again? And yes, the first thing is that we've learned from our experience last year and this year that project-based learning is a very effective way to take on new interests and learn them quickly in a way that we can't always do inside of a classroom. But the second and most important thing is the impact that we can have by doing community outreach events and by sharing our experience and engaging with our peers in this endeavor. What we want to do is ask and continue to ask our community to, and that's from peers to adults, to continue to find ways to engage and spread the word on STEM within our community, because we've seen that there's a discrepancy between students who want to engage in STEM and teachers who also want to provide the resources for their students, but don't have the adequate and necessary tools to do so. So, given that our team is made up of mainly juniors and seniors, once we're gone, we want to continue and finish off this challenge strong by continuously letting our community know how crucial and beneficial different opportunities such as the NASA App Development Challenge is to promote within our communities for youth and the growth and development of STEM in education here in Des Moines and in Iowa over the course of the future.
Quantum activities were designed to help students and teachers of all ages learn more about different quantum concepts, and the activity I chose to challenge myself with was called Tangle's Layer. It included themes such as quantum computing, superposition, and how to measure qubits or quantum bits, and as well as having fun visuals and gameplay. It basically gave me some information on how to substitute logic gates so that the qubits can go through the quickest path possible to solve inputted mathematical equations. It felt very challenging at first, but with a little more practice, I was able to get the hang of it and finish the activity off strongly. It gave me insight on what goes on at NASA, among other research institutes, as well as missions such as Artemis and how they're carried out, and moreover, how crucial it is to teach students and younger audiences STEM.
One of the most crucial components of our application was the user interface, because not only do we have to make sure that the user is able to interact with the application, but also meet some part of our data visualization. We created the user interface with ease of use and accessibility in mind. As you can see on screen, as with the 4 videos in the back, these are all of our settings that we included in our application. Our application provides extensive tweaks to ensure that our application can run on all hardware, but also we want it to be inclusive. So we included colorblind settings, and we'll include more as we progress through the challenge to make sure that all users can see the same image.
Our application utilized a lot of 3D modeling, and 3D modeling is essentially the process of creating objects found in TV shows, in movies, and video games via software on the computer. We utilized Maya, which was a 3D modeling software, to create everything that you see within our application, including what is shown in the videos above.
How I got introduced to 3D modeling was through my sister. My sister dragged me to 3D modeling club, and the president of the club is Sujal. This club was held 2 times a week, Monday and Friday, and while I was at that club, the more I used Maya, the modeling tool that we have, the more fascinated I become with 3D modeling. Because you can create anything you want, whether it's a snowman to a haunted house, as long as you put effort, time, and research into it, you can create it. My first project started out with a 20-minute tutorial of a room, and it took me 6 whole weeks, or 1.5 months, to create that one singular room. So now this year, not only I joined 3D Modeling Club again, but also Team Frostbyte. And with the help of Sujal and Ramaz, they helped me not only improve my skills, but we were able to create the interior and exterior of the Orion spacecraft.
So for 3D modeling, I had no experience whatsoever. I didn't even know how to turn on the PC, but eventually I figured it out. And my team, Sujal from us and Maya, they helped me learn how to navigate through the app, Maya. They helped me look at tutorials online and videos that could help me find somewhere to start and how to use the controls. After I figured it out, it just became muscle memory, and I worked on like 2 little projects. It was like a box, but it was hard, but I figured it out. And I felt so proud of that little accomplishment, and I'm proud that I was able to be a part of this experience.
3D modeling is a 3-step process. The first step is taking a reference image and turning it into a 3-dimensional object using the software called Maya. The second step is UV unwrapping. Think about UV unwrapping as peeling an orange all in one piece and laying it down flat. That is the process where you take a 3-dimensional object and you break it down into the X and Y plane and you put it back. The next step is texturing. Then think about painting an image, a picture, or even adding details onto that same piece of orange that same piece of orange peel and painting an image or like a picture and wrapping it back up. As you can see from the image above, we have done that. Before, you can see how the rocket looks like without any color, texture, and afterwards you can see how we've added color, detail, and even logos such as our own logo and the NASA logo.
Another crucial part of our application is the visualization of the Artemis 2 path. So as you can see, the rocket launches from Earth, goes into high Earth orbit, then does a slingshot maneuver around Earth and back. So for this demo, we sped it up because I don't think anyone has the time to see a rocket fly in space for 10 days. And then we did this by reading the XYZ coordinates of the CSV file that NASA provided us. And since it was timestamped, we used Unreal's blueprinting functionality to read through this file, iterate through each indice, and create the path for the rocket.
So what is a velocity vector? It is direction and magnitude. We use color to showcase the velocity vector. So at first, me and Anise, we had no idea where to start. We didn't even know what the velocity vector meant or what blueprinting was. We looked at tutorials online on where to start and how to use the app. We even went on the app a little bit just to get a good understanding of what to do and what the controls were, or how to just navigate the way through the app. After some guidance from Moss and the support from the team, we were able to figure it out together.
We used the equation for the velocity vector and a spreadsheet that NASA provided us with all of the data for the direction and speed of the rocket. When we were originally delegating tasks, Sujal wrote what needed to get done with the app. I noticed that the velocity vector was only 0% done. So I enthusiastically volunteered myself to do the velocity vector. Keep in mind, I did not know what a velocity vector was, but I wanted to challenge myself. So, after a lot of work, I was feeling confident. Next, me and Magali took on the task of visualizing the velocity vector, coloring the antenna data, and visualizing the signal strength. At first, we were really confused and had no idea where to start. So, we decided to reach out to one of our knowledgeable members. We decided to reach out to a knowledgeable member on our team. When we asked Sujal what we should do, he also said he didn't know. But he encouraged us to reach out and do some research. We started our rationale by doing some complex whiteboard drawings. Since we wanted to have 3 colors to represent the scale of the rocket speed, we divided the spreadsheet data that NASA provided us by 3. And we created something similar to the if statement that we learned in AP Computer Science. So, using a blueprint, we created a loop. We coded the computer to scan the values of velocity. For all values that were under 1.66, the computer would output a blue color. And then we created something similar to an if-else statement. That, if a value was over 1.67, but under 3.33, it would outprint a purple color. And then finally, for the fastest speed, which is any speed that's over 3.33, the computer would output a pink color. Traditionally, this color would be red, but me and Magali wanted to add our own spin. So after a lot of hard work, science, math, blood, sweat, tears, me and Magali finally did it. And this is a picture of us after we coded. Yes.
So before we get into what the link budget equation is, a big task within this application is figuring out the actual application of the different challenges and tasks that we were given by NASA in terms of next year's mission. So one of the things that we determined was this year in Artemis 2, it's more important than ever to ensure that we here on Earth maintain great communication with our astronauts over the course of their mission, because contrary to the first Artemis mission, Artemis 1, there was an unmanned flight crew. So what the link budget equation does is it allows us to weigh which antenna on the spacecraft has the highest connectivity, and therefore using that information we're able to prioritize and use the highest and most available antenna over the course of the mission. But what we did, because we were given thousands of data points, is we used Python to process and convert the equation into a Python script. But the biggest thing that we want to go over and illuminate is that, especially even for me, last year as I started and took AP Computer Science A and was first introduced to physically programming, looking at code at first is very intimidating for a lot of people, and it was for me. And we want to illuminate that through even challenges like this, the process of going from a mathematical expression to a programming language is very similar to how we translate words from one language, like English and how I'm speaking to you right now, to another language. In which the approach that we took to take the equation that they gave us was essentially using resources online, a library and dictionaries to go through step by step and turn the expression and equation given to us into the link budget formula you see down below into code. Where after that, we use the looping process that allows the program to process all of the thousands of data points. So we didn't have to do that because that probably would not have been anything we could do within even the next couple of years. So with this challenge, we want to illuminate that there are ways that even for middle schoolers, in which middle schoolers actually have their own competition in terms of NASA's Active Element Challenge, that they can contribute to real-world applications and STEM and find ways to engage in it, even in certain areas that a lot of times is intimidating to students.
So this is what the team looked like last year. And this is what we look like now. And this isn't even everyone. As you can see, our team has gotten a lot more diverse, which brings me to my next point. Why does diversity matter? Well, according to the National Science Foundation, in 2021, about 1/3 of people employed in STEM occupations were women. And when we factor other things like race, these numbers just continue to get smaller and smaller. Experiences such as isolation, male-dominated work environments, bias, and a lack of women role models are the main reasons that push women to leave STEM jobs. It's no secret that there's a disparity in women entering STEM fields, and that there's a lack of diversity in STEM. As Team Frostbyte, we are fighting against this pressing issue by not only acting as a source of representation ourselves, but by visiting elementary and middle schools and showing young kids that anyone can get into STEM. As Team Frostbyte, we advocate for diversity, not just in terms of gender, but in race, economics, grade level, and religious backgrounds. As Team Frostbyte, we believe that every child deserves the gift of seeing themselves represented.
This is why these programs, challenges, and this outreach event today are so important. Being able to teach kids and even adults that despite their race, gender, religion, or social class, that they can also pursue their passions, not only in STEM, but in whatever field they desire. And that they should not be subject to any judgment because of their differences.
Now, although the challenge itself is only 10 weeks, we've already taken away so many key things from this experience, starting with time management. Between the 11 total members of Team Frostbyte, we've all been juggling about 35 different AP classes, 35, throughout this whole experience. And throughout the challenge itself, we've also been battling missing assignments and poor grades as well, as you can expect. But we've overcame this by simply allocating some of our meeting time into doing schoolwork together. And this has proved to be extremely effective for us, as we are not only now caught up on our schoolwork, but we're also ahead.
And even though we are ahead now, that does not mean we always were, or that the work got in on time, which is really why I want to emphasize communication, but also give a big thanks to all of our teachers for being so understanding. Communication within the team was very, very crucial to getting this application done. For each part in the rubric, some, if not all of us, had to come together to tackle the problem. And not only that, within communicating with our teachers, we were able to help them understand the magnitude of our challenge and what goes on behind the scenes, and that our grades weren't dropping for just no reason. And within communication within our team and with our teachers, this challenge was not only possible, but we also kept our grades up.
Another big thing for Team Frostbyte is tenacity, a word relating to perseverance, which is one of the most important aspects that our team had to face. With tenacity, we were able to come this far despite how clueless most of us were at the beginning. Through lots of effort, we are also able to be here today presenting for you and for NASA.
On top of all that, one of the most important things that got us to where we are today is teamwork. For the past 9 weeks, 11 of us members, as well as Ms. Kicks, have been going to Urban Dreams Community Center almost every single day, only taking out one day, which is for Thanksgiving. We've combined our skills from different fields and support each other to make the best possible app.
So Frostbyte aspires to keep improving as a participant of NASA's ADC, but more importantly, as a member of the community. We want to continue using our influence to provide more exposure to activities like the ADC and opportunities that can be offered to students with all various backgrounds. And as we proceed into the following years, we would not only like to improve on our current momentum, but build upon what we've already started. When we went to NASA earlier this year, we told them we would bring more diversity into our team. We believe we have done so.
As one of the 4 juniors in Team Frostbyte, I like to say that we definitely learned a lot from this year. A lesson that I also took away was teamwork, because we all came together to help create the app, whether it's the color key, visualization, the UI, or modeling. We put a lot of effort into it. And that's why I like to do it again. Next year, the 7th year of the App Development Challenge, not only I will be a Team Frostbyte member, but also a mentor for the newcomers, and I will be able to teach them what I learned this year.
Team Frostbyte helped me by strengthening my programming skills, teamwork skills, while also encouraging me to step out of my comfort zone. I plan to be on the team next year to apply my skills to good use while also mentoring future members. After all this, I plan to attend college to study computer science while also being an ROTC, but I will always be grateful for this amazing opportunity.
Over the course of this challenge, given that we have a lot of seniors, we've been simultaneously planning for the future. And for myself, I would illuminate that over the past 6 years, Also, with being in Science Bound, I've had the opportunity of very early on being exposed to different science and STEM opportunities, such as participating in 4 science fairs, and over the past summer, or this summer, I was able to do a neutrino physics research internship at ISU, where I got experience in the lab at the graduate and undergraduate level. And in terms of an emphasis on computer science, my experience last year in the App Development Challenge, and this year in this App Development Challenge, and also working with Moss and Sujal at Principal, has solidified my interest in computer science and software engineering, where through Science Bound, I've already applied to ISU and gotten accepted, and also have a full tuition scholarship. But I also plan on applying to other universities and seeing what other opportunities will present themselves. And over the course of the next 3 to 4 years in college, I also want to continuously build my media business that I also have with my brother.
Participating or being on the team Frostbyte for almost 2 years now has really helped me figure out what I want to do in the future. And not only that, being in the cybersecurity class for almost 4 years. Because the key takeaways that we talked about not too long ago are really crucial into being a member of the Army, but also going into cybersecurity as a field itself. And as a member of the Army National Guard, I'm pursuing my time as a electronic warfare specialist, which is one of the top things that you can be in the Army. So after high school, I will go to my basic training, which is 10 weeks. And then once I'm done with basic training, I get a short amount of time to come back here, and then I will be shipped out again to go to my Army intelligence training, which is 28 weeks, which is also one of the longest trainings that the Army offers for their MOSs. Then once I do all of that, I will come back and I'll go to Iowa State to pursue a master's in cybersecurity and a minor in psychology. But that does not mean I will completely depart from Frostbyte. Because as you saw in the survey, there is a much needed, there's a lot of need for STEM, not only in Iowa, but in the Midwest as a whole. And not only that, the students really want to learn STEM, but there is not a lot of teachers that are able to provide that for them. And I want to be able to come back and help Frostbyte keep their impact, keep a legacy going, and keep their mark on the city of Des Moines, the state of Iowa, and the nation as a whole.
So for me, I've always loved helping people out. Ever since I was a child, I always loved those around me that were older, when I went to doctors or firefighters and things like that. I was looking into Simpson. I remember I toured their college, and I really loved how I felt in that environment. I got in and I got a scholarship, so I'll be going there next year, and I'll try out the nursing program.
Curiosity drives me and always will. As a kid, I would always take apart anything I could get my hands on. Even recently, when my mini fridge broke, I decided to fix it myself instead of asking my dad to call someone to fix it. I had no idea how a refrigerator worked, but I still took it apart because I wanted to. But in the end, I actually fixed the issue, replacing a broken capacitor with a newly bought soldering iron. That same curiosity led me to the NASA ADC, where I could directly contribute to NASA by creating an app for astronauts to use. These experiences, paired with my experience working at Principal Financial Group, really solidified my passions for computer science. And thanks to the ISU 4U Promise, I have a free tuition scholarship there, and I plan to pursue my passions there also. I also hope to attend Carnegie Mellon if the opportunity presents itself.
I've always had a pretty loud voice, and my mother has encouraged me to speak for those who do not have a voice. This has motivated me to do things such as being a Bank of America student leader, being part of the City of Des Moines Youth Advisory Board, Iowa Youth Congress, and the Superintendent Advisory Board. I've always been motivated by values of civic engagement and justice. And with the help of Westbridge, I'm excited to attend Northwestern University with a full ride. Yes. Thank you. And at Northwestern, I will be double majoring in philosophy and economics, and then I hope to attend law school. Team Frostbyte has exposed me to a lot of team outreach events. But now, as I look into the future, I want to address the audience. I challenge you guys to question, what does it mean to be a good member of the community? What does civic engagement look like in your life? How can you contribute to the betterment of our society?
During freshman year, I was always a student who just did enough to get by. During freshman year, I was always a student who did just enough to get by. It wasn't until I was called out by Miss Nunes that has changed my outlook on life. She called me out on a sociology assignment that I had done, and I had met the requirements to get an A. However, she told me that it wasn't my personal best, which she was right. I didn't try that much. All I did was look at the rubric, look at what I need to get done, put it on a PowerPoint, and submit it. That experience taught me the value of perseverance and the value of effort. I've taken those lessons with me as I've challenged myself by taking a challenging academic course load, and by involving myself in numerous extracurriculars. With the help of Questbridge and numerous mentors along the way, I'm excited to attend Vanderbilt University for a full ride scholarship to study mechanical engineering.
Growing up, I always had a lot of curiosities on how the universe works and what our greater purpose in life could possibly be in such a vast and endless space. I've always known what I was going to pursue since I was small. But thanks to programs such as ISU Science Bound and the support of my teachers and mentors, I will be going to Iowa State University with a full tuition scholarship with the intent to major in physics and minor in mathematics, hopefully being able to work in labs and with others in my community.
We would like to give a big shout out to our sponsors. By Degrees for managing funding, Urban Dreams for being our central meeting place, Landed/Landworks for allowing us the opportunity to present to you here today, and Brave Harvest for improving our network.
Urakoze.
Grazie.
Gracias.
Merci.
Kopchai.
Tablo.
Shukran.
Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad.
Thank you. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions?
What's your strategy for recruitment for next year?
Well, one thing is to make kids realize anybody can be a part of it. It's not like some testing process. You want to be part of it, you're part of it.
And to add on to that, I would like to say that just sharing what we have right now, and the impact that it can truly have on you. Like for me, for example, I did not know opportunities like these existed, and for next year, we would just like to emphasize that fact and just try to share it to as many people, as many students as possible, while also being able to do the same things we do today.
And to answer that question, actually thinking back to an opportunity that we had in Washington, D.C. to talk to a conference in regards to equity, there was another person who asked a similar question. And the biggest thing that we realized, thinking from the perspective of ourselves and as peers, to get students interested, I'd say the number one thing, the first thing is exposure, and what that does is it allows students to know what exists for them, to get them to even think or consider the certain opportunities. Kind of like how last year we said that the same way you can't think of a color you've never seen, it's impossible and hard for students, from elementary students and even adults, to think of an opportunity or a life for themselves that they've never been exposed to. So that's the first thing, so exposure. And then the second thing is, which is our job and mission, and then also something we add to the community, is to also share the incentives. Because when I think from the perspective of myself and our peers, showing and displaying, not just showing the exposure of this, but the benefits of engaging in STEM, showing the impact that STEM has on our lives, and how engaging in STEM can contribute to not only their lives, but the lives of thousands and millions and potentially billions across the world. sharing that incentive as a part of the exposure every time that we share resources or opportunities such as STEM, rather than just telling students or us just telling our peers, hey, you should do this challenge. Also letting them know when we do ask them like why they should do this challenge or why they should consider it, by sharing the benefits that we've got out of that, whether that's just learning, the opportunities, the network, and the connection that we've had with our communities, and then the impact as well. Those are the two things that I would generally say to answer that question. Any other questions? If that's all, thank you guys. Thank you guys all for coming.
January to find anything else. So pray for us for this next week, because after that, we're probably going to sleep all of Christmas break. Hey guys, also go eat up. We expected more, so there's lots of food, so please help yourself to the food.
Make sure it doesn't block the video. If something just in case it's make
I did it, should I?
Thank you. Thank you for everything you've done.
You know what they're doing, I suppose. And you know about
I do, I'm gonna go now, I gotta go coach basketball. I think it's the last year the fourth graders will be taller than me, so it's like, kindergarten. Yeah, Monday night, I was like blocking their shots, and they were like, third and fourth, yeah. Yeah, what is that? It's just a little like Parks and Rec group. So it's my son's team, and he's like, "Mom, I'm gonna coach this again." I'm like, as long as I'm taller than one kid on the team, I will. I think this might be it. We're into the end of it, yeah. I think it's got so, yeah. He does, yeah. So I'll take all those pics, and I like them. Matt? No, I'm saying. Well, I think we do. Do you have it? Do you want it? Wait, do I have yours? Champ turn it, okay. But Matt commented, you on.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have yours.